Hey friends, welcome back to another video. My name is Lefebvre, and today I'm trying a brand new brush from Craftamo that I've never tried before. This could be a disaster or just a learning experience. So let's jump in and get started and get to know their Bloom brush set. Okay friends, today we're doing a fun video where we're trying out a brand new set of brushes from Craftamo. This is not an artist collaboration. This is done by the company Craftamo. It is a 6-piece floral brush set called the Bloom brush set, and it's a really interesting shape. So I'm really excited about this because I've never really got the chance to play with this brush shape before, and it's very different than any other brush shape that I have. So a little backstory, which is so funny with the timing. When I went to France on my Uptrek watercolor retreat, one of the ladies had a brush that was like this from Princeton Velvet Touch, and it's called their Petals brush. And this brush shape is really interesting. It is kind of like a triangular shape. I don't know if you can see that tip. See the triangle? But it also has this gradual kind of almost like a dagger point. So let me see if I can find, here's my dagger brush, but see how it goes on an angle? So it's really interesting, but it's also a triangle. So she had one of the Princeton ones. I got to play with it a little bit, but ever since then I was looking for the Princeton Velvet Touch Petals brush, and I literally can't find it anywhere. I can't find it on Amazon, any of my local art stores, nothing. So then I was browsing Craftamo's website, as I do. My products are all on there, and I saw they had their new brushes, this Bloom brush set, which is all of these shapes. So it's a 6-piece brush set. They have a size 16 Bloom brush, a size 10 Bloom brush, a size 8, a size 6, and then they have these two smaller ones, which they don't look like they are the same shape, but they look like they're more rounded. So a size 2 and then a size 3/0, which is a really nice small detailed brush. And it was so funny because I reached out to them and I was like, hey, I saw that you had this new brush set. I'm dying to try and play with this brush shape. Do you think you could send it? And funny enough, they were already sending me samples for a brush set that I'm working on with them. And they're like, we already sent it to you. So they just knew I needed it. So I'm really excited to play with this. I have taken it out of the package. Obviously I did play with it very briefly, but I am in no means a master with this shape brush. There is an artist, I think her name is Jen Sweeney, I think. She's on Instagram. I do follow her, and this is the brush shape she uses, and I've seen her work it, and I'm like, I don't know how you do it, but she is a master with this kind of brush. So I wanted to play around with you guys today, and we're gonna try and figure it out together, because if anything, it looks super tricky and difficult. But also, so did the dagger shape when I first got it. I had no idea how to use it. And with any new brush or any new material, you just have to play around and try all different things. So I'm going to take you through how I get to know a brush when I've never played with one before. So I'm going to try with the 16. It's really nice. I really love the colors of this brush. This just screams Emma, does it not? The pink, I love it. So it's brand new. I'm going to make sure it's nice and wet. And just because it's a pink brush, I'm going to use pink. So the one thing that's really cool about this brush is it has such a pointed tip that it looks like you can do some really fine details even with something as big of a brush as a 16, but also has this big juicy kind of middle where you can get these really thick strokes. So anytime I am getting to know a brush, I like to see what it can do. So I like to use really light pressure to see the fine lines I can get. Look how tiny that is. This point is ridiculous. I like to apply more pressure, like a medium amount of pressure, to see what kind of lines I get. Look at that point. And then I like to apply lots of pressure, pressing down to see how big I can get it. Now, that's just one way. But if I use it on its side and drag it to the side, let's see how big I can get it. Look how much coverage. It's almost like a huge flat wash brush. So you could do like a whole background with this brush because it is so large. So that's a huge benefit. Like, look at the tiny little lines you can get with this brush, the medium, and then this huge wash. I'm not gonna lie, that's really impressive. Okay, so that's a really cool benefit. Also, just because the triangle is at the bottom doesn't mean you have to use it like that. Let's see what happens if I use it on its side. I like to try and see if I can get like leaf shapes. Okay, the side's a little weird. Now, if I flip it on its back, like this, it's almost kind of like a more of a traditional round brush shape, which is cool. And then flip it back over, it's a little thinner. Okay, I like to kind of give myself an idea of how it curves. Now, when I look at this brush, obviously it's called the Bloom brush, so I'm assuming it's going to be really good for florals. The way I've seen Jen Sweeney use it is she does this really cool kind of motion where she keeps, kind of like a dagger, you keep the tip down, and then she like does this little up and down motion, just moving the back side around. Maybe this will work better. Not good. See, any kind of new material, a new brush takes practice. This is how I felt with the dagger brush. I was like, what am I doing? So you can kind of just like move the back around, get these really cool petals. The other really cool thing is because it's so thick, what you can do is you can load up the back with the pink and then just grab the tip in a different color. And you can get this kind of like two-tone color. Not very good. Hold on. Again, takes practice. Like that. Look at that. Okay, I kind of want to use a smaller brush because I feel like this is really difficult. But like, it's not really difficult. I just need more practice. Maybe a smaller brush might be better for control. But look at that two-tone you can get by just dipping the tip somewhere else. I also am curious to see how it's going to work out for leaves, but I really do want to try a smaller brush. So let's try the size 10 and let's see how it does with leaves. I'm going to go into my olive green just because it's one of my favorite greens, and I'm going to try to create a leaf. So maybe let's go this way. I'm going to do a little stem. I'm shocked at this point. Like, the detailed lines are insane. And I'm going to apply pressure, maybe do a little twist, and then kind of lift. Nope, not like that. Hold on, let's try again. I don't know. Nope. How does she do it? Maybe if I drag towards me? Bit better? No, I still, like, this is like a look into me figuring out a material for the first time. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, this just goes to show that it doesn't matter how skilled you are. Anything you do for the first time is not going to be perfect. I mean, they're okay, but it's not like a regular brush. I'm just so curious about how to get this leaf shape. Twist it. I don't know. The leaves are a little wonky. I mean, I could always go backwards like this. See, like if I had a round brush, that's my go-to. But using this triangle shape is tricky. I almost feel like you have to go to the side and then back. Kind of. Might be good for like a, that's getting better. See, the more you use it. Ooh, that looks like it's like a flipped leaf. That's kind of cool. So I went up, down, and then back up again. That's kind of cool. We're working on it. We're figuring it out. What if we do kind of that petally shape? Let's try, I don't know. Let's try some purple and then maybe some pink at the tips. Get this cool kind of jagged edge. Like it almost looks like a carnation. It's so cool. I like it. It's a lot of fun to use. It is a little frustrating. Anything that's new that you're not a pro at, it's going to be frustrating, even for me. But it is something that is very intriguing that I want to get better at. Let's try the next shape. I'm just going to fill this up with tons of different shapes and stuff. Okay, let's try the smaller brush. Let's try some yellow. What if I wanted like a little bit of a jagged? I'm going to get a little bit more like yellow ochre so it's a little bit more visible. You can even just do like, oh, look at this. Look at these. These are like, okay, I got to do it a little bit darker so you guys can see. They're like effortless petals. And I like how the edge is just kind of like this curve. I almost like that better than a filbert brush. That's cool. Just go around in a circle. And I'm literally just tapping, maybe giving a little bit of a wiggle. Ooh, look at me go. Just trying to get the hang of this. I do feel like the smaller ones, 4 petals, are a little bit easier to kind of manipulate. Let's try some more leaves with the smaller one. Yeah. The smaller one seems to be a little bit easier to control for me. But like, look at the big backwash that you can get with the larger ones. These are so cool. That's not a leaf. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. So once you play around, you'll start to notice directions and the way to hold things to get shapes that you want. Like I'm still figuring this out. This is not what I want. It's not working. But the more you do something, the better you get. So please don't ever get discouraged by using a new shape. Like I get a lot of comments from people saying, you make it look so easy. The only reason why it ever looks easy is because I've done it a million times. Because otherwise, the first few times I do it, it looks like this. And you might think this doesn't look bad, Emma. Like, are you crazy? The thing is I do have so many years of foundations of how to hold brushes and how to get certain shapes. So even though this is a struggle for me, I still do have that foundation. So if you are brand new to watercolor or painting in general, just remember that if I did this, use these brushes at the beginning of my journey, it would look absolutely nothing like this. So be kind to yourself. But I do challenge you to, pick up a new supply and give it a go, because you're only going to learn and get better the more you do it. And then if you continue to use it and you still don't love it, that's okay. Like, this is how you figure out what you like and what you don't. A funny thing is my florals were only ever done with round brushes for the longest time. And then I saw my friend Jillian use a flat brush. A flat wash brush, just a regular flat brush for florals. And I was like, I want to try that. And this is my go-to for florals now. Flat brushes. Nice flat brushes. And you wouldn't look at this brush and think, oh, that's like a floral brush. This is my go-to. But it's only because I tried it and I realized how much I liked it after lots and lots of practice. So even though I might not, gravitate towards this in the future, this may not be my brush. It may be yours, but I'm not saying it's not, because this is something I just have to practice with and learn how to manipulate better and get comfortable with it, because that's how you learn how to use all new materials. Okay, and then just lastly, I want to take a look at these 2 little ones. I'm intrigued by this. This is a very short, I don't know if you can see this, a very short, tiny brush, which is really nice for details. So when you have a smaller brush, I want to see if I can find one. So I have like a size 1 here. This is a little sneak peek onto a travel brush that I'm working on with Craftamo. This is a size 1. So it's a little bit bigger than this. This is the 3-0. But see the length difference in the tips? That can make a big difference. One like this can hold a lot more water and paint, so this will be good for longer strokes. Like you can get quite a bit of, you know, longevity out of your stroke with a longer brush. These ones tend to be for more smaller, tiny detail. So if I did this, because it can only hold so much, right? Let's see how long our line's gonna go. It starts to dry out by the time we get here. But I find these brushes are so great for like the tiniest little short detail, and they're really easy to control because the bristles are so short. So you could do a lot of really cute kind of, let me just grab some brown, like little detailed spots in a flower, like so. And it's just really easy to control, which is really nice. So that's a nice bonus because I find a lot of brush sets don't have a brush that is this small and short, which is cool. And then this one is our size 2 round, which is always nice to have as well. The thing is that these brushes have such a great point. I don't know if I would even need a small brush. Like the point on these look intense, like really, really great. And the only reason why I would ever use like a size 2 round is to get those smaller details. But you may not even need it. I mean, it's still nice to have. Again, the bristles are a lot shorter, so it's a lot easier to control. But like, look at these tiny little details. You can get little leaf marks and strokes like that out of them too. Actually, this is really nice to have. Good old round brush. I love it. But overall, this set is pretty freaking cool. I'm obsessed with how big of a stroke you can get with these. That's pretty awesome. Like even this 10. Like look how big of a stroke you can get. And then get all these really cool shapes. So that is the Bloom set. They are available now on Craftamo's website if you are interested. I always am up for trying new shapes, new brushes. I think these are so much fun. So definitely go check them out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you in our next video. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on all my other platforms for tons more content. Have a great day, guys. Bye.